Hi, welcome back to Bistify, where we build skills, not just resumes. We focus on more hands-on and demonstration videos just to give you the best knowledge or the practical knowledge based on the in-scope tools and technologies for the market. So we are here to talk about SageMaker overview, and we have covered extract, comprehend, bedrock. Now it's time to go through some overview, high level overview for Amazon SageMaker. So before you start, I would say when you search for this SageMaker here, just choose this Amazon SageMaker AI, right? And when you get the basic page home page for this that would be different than this because every SageMaker to enable your access for the SageMaker, you'll have to have a domain created, which is under admin configurations, as you can see. So that would allow you to create. Because if I launch SageMaker, because I've already created the domain, so this is a domain. It is redirecting me to this. So I'm going to go ahead because there are some use cases I would cover in my future coming videos, but since I've been covering some UI interface for every other AI service for AWS. So likewise, I'm doing it for SageMaker as well. So talking about, if we go to the left hand side first, we have applications and IDEs where we have Studio, SageMaker Studio at first place. So what is that? So SageMaker Studio is like a web-based IDE. It is clearly mentioned here, integrated development environment when we say IDE for machine learning, and you can do a data preparation, training, deployment, monitoring here, all of the action items in one place, right? It is like as similar as you have VS Code, Jupyter, and AWS in one browser tab. So that's how you can work with this studio. Moving on further to Canvas is nothing but when you don't want to code anything, so it is kind of a visual and drag and drop tool for people who don't want to code machine learning, and it will allow to business users to build the models, and you just do it with a point and click. uh, your any models related to forecasting, classification, and regression. I hope you must have heard of these terms. If not, I have already told you multiple times. We have a GitHub repository where I've already uploaded the handwritten notes as well as the glossary to go through the quick check before you come here to do the hands-on. Moving on further, our studio is like a ID again. So I think Canvas, I have already covered no code, like I said. Our studio is again ID, and it is mainly used by data analysts who are working with R for machine learning and do the analysis of the data. Notebooks is like a Jupyter notebooks you must have heard of if you have a hands-on experience with EMR. There also we have Jupyter notebooks. Likewise, here we also have Jupyter notebooks that is spin up quickly, and that's a managed Jupyter notebooks. There is no need to set up EC2 machine or any Jupyter manually. You can connect to different data sets like S3, Redshift, RDS, and you can run your code easily here. Okay, then we have the partnered AI apps, like you have uh, Copilot and everything in the market. There are like several partner API AI apps here. We have the integration with admin tools where you have the domain, you maintain the user profile in there, and the access level, and the app configurations, and the environment, the resources. App configuration is nothing but whether you have the Docker, so you enable the Docker here, and then we have environment, then we have resources, and so on. Role manager is like kind of management of the role for the users who are using it, uh, to assign the relevant IAM permissions to it. Then we have the custom images, and we have the lifecycle configuration. So lifecycle configuration, I hope you have gone through some AWS certification or the knowledge prior to this, when where we configure lifecycle rules. So lifecycle configurations are similar to that. You can go through it again if you haven't gone through it. Moving on to the components of the SageMaker, Jumpstart comes at first. Jumpstart is nothing but a library of ready to use machine learning solutions, and the pre-built models we have: foundation models, computer vision models, natural language processing models. For an example, if we talk about these two, and it's simple as that. When you want to build a sentiment analysis or the image classification model, so instead of coding from scratch, you can deploy these in 1 minute. So if you click the foundation models, you have already covered in the few of them in the bedrock. So you can uh, check the foundation models for this as well. These are the pre-trained, like I said, pre-trained on large amounts of data, so you can perform the wide range of tasks such as article summarization and text, image, video generation, etc., etc. Right. Moving on to governance. In the governance, we have some tools available uh, that are uh, that are used and to ensure the compliance, security, and the responsible AI. I hope you have heard of responsible AI. If not, you can again go through the documents that I've uploaded on GitHub. That would give you a generic idea of it. So it helps basically in the audit part of it. Like when you have any access control in the monitoring, bias or fairness in the models, you can make a full utilization of this governance uh, section. And then we have the hypervisor cluster, it already self-understood cluster management, where you have the cluster to manage, and it's the high compute cluster for your large scaling machine learning training. So it is very useful when you are training any massive or the large model that requires your distributed GPU clusters, for example, LLMs, right? Large language models. And moving further, ground truth, when you have built something, but you also want the human overview of on top of it, like it supports the human laborers and the semi-automated labeling. You can create a label data set for training ML models here. Suppose if you like to tag the image of your cats versus dogs, so it is very useful to do it. Right? Let me click and show you how it looks like. This is the create labeling job. Labeling datasets, labeling workforces. Okay. So Amazon Mechanical Turk is here, private vendor is here. So these are the three methods you can use for your uh, review system. So if you have any mechanical Turk, any particular mechanical Turk team to do it for you, can. If you already have your own team of workers from your organization, you can use private. If you have the vendors who are specialized in providing data labeling service, you can make a use of it. Moving further to notebook. Notebooks are again the instances, notebook instances, like we already covered Jupyter notebook. So these are nothing but the those instances for you to enable the Jupyter environment. Moving further to processing. Processing is very self-understood. It will let your uh, data pre-processing execution and the post-processing jobs as well at very scale. So that's where your processing jobs come to the picture. Moving further to training, where you launch training jobs for machine learning models. You provide data and algorithms here, right? And SageMaker spins up the compute, trains, and saves the model for you, right? So algorithm, we already have some algorithms in the AWS marketplace. You can find it. We have the training jobs, and then we have the hyper parameter tuning jobs. So if you go in further into it, you can do it. Moving further to training plans, it will help you to organize and manage training runs, and it is very useful for experiments where you try different data sets and the parameters or any algorithms if you would like to compare results. That's very useful. Inference, very important part of this SageMaker. So it really helps you to deploy trained models to make predictions. We call it inference, right? and it really supports three kind of inference model. One is real time, where you have the low latency. It is based on the API endpoints, right? And second one is batch inference, where you have the large data sets, little medium kind of latencies there. And then the serverless inference, where you pay per request. So these three difference we have. Let me click models, create model. So you can make a full utilization of it to ensure the deployment of the model. Okay, these are the endpoints I have just talked about, and this is batch transformation jobs. I just told you if you have the large data set. And we have augmented AI. It is also called as A2I. In that, again, human reviewers plus AI. If you like to have that combination, this is the augmented AI service. So there is a difference between, if I have made you confused between augmented AI, or there was another one that we talked about earlier, that was ground truth. So ground truth is basically, it supports human labelers. When you have the human labelers, if any labelers you have from the vendor or anywhere, you can tag them. It helps you to tag those labels. But in augmented AI, it is like the human review kind of thing. When you have for an example, there is a model, and you have used that model to fetch something, but something came out as the uncertain. So your A2I, augmented AI, what it does, it routes them to a human for review. Like, it is very useful in case of what you call it, healthcare compliance kind of thing. So some reports you might get, where you again, for the remediation, you go to the human review. So that's where it is very important to have it. Last but not the least, marketplace, and you must already be aware of. It is nothing but where you can find your, from AI ML perspective, where you can find your pre-trained models, algorithms, ML solutions, and so on. So if, instead of building your own model, for an example, if you're building any fraud detection model, you can you can avoid building it on your own. You can buy one from marketplace and deploy it via the SageMaker. So that's how the short and crisp high level overview of these. We'll now start with the extract, some use case, followed by comprehend, followed by bedrock, and then last but not the least, SageMaker. And post that, I'm also thinking to cover some miscellaneous AI services that I have already uh, missed, and I would like to cover it in the miscellaneous section. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you good luck. Stay tuned for some hands on in the use cases. Thank you. Bye bye.